Well, here I am, unboxing day on my new Spectrum V3i White's metal detector. Now, as I might have said earlier, I owned a metal detector many years ago, and it was a relatively inexpensive metal detector, and I was in a campground environment where, to be perfectly honest, when I tried to use the metal detector, being that it was a relatively inexpensive one, it picked up more trash than anything I could possibly ever want to keep. What I'm looking for is a metal detector that I'm going to use a lot in sand and desert conditions. With the difference being sand has a lot of wet, salt water environment, and sand also is a dry environment, so they're two opposite different environments. Going back to my old detectors, many of you may not remember, like I am a lot older. In the old days, soda cans used to have a pop top where you pop the top and then you had your little aluminum top, you threw it away, and then you drank your soda. One of the reasons actually the government came in and stepped in and said those are no longer allowed is that people would throw the top back in the can, drink it, and people had a tendency of swallowing them. So after many years, Congress stepped in and said that the tops had to be now pull in and stay attached. Again, cans, tops, nails, the less expensive metal detectors pick up all that. And I did a lot of digging, and it was a lot of time, and I found very little of the good stuff, the gold, the silver. Second issue is that, as you can see from one of my brochures, I'll bring it a little close, many of the items that sit in the ground, not silver, excuse me, copper, nickels, pennies, anything excuse me, past 1964, which would be 65 and on, which are your clad coins, corrode significantly quickly. And to be honest, unless it's gold and silver, any of the coins you find in those conditions, unless it's one of those very uniquely rare ones, don't have a lot of value in them. So one thing I wanted to look for is gold and silver, and not waste my time on nails, pop tops, and flagrant pieces of metal that might be laying around. So the Spectrum V3i is their top of the line model. I waited many years to be able to afford it, and with it, it does one of three things. It, as you see from the brochure, it actually transmits on three different frequencies. Frequencies being the type of frequency that detects particular type objects. And with those frequencies, it has a better chance of only looking for gold and silver and relics, if that's what you set it at. It's a smart machine that you can set it up on, I think there's 9 automatic functions on it that are preset. And then down below, they have an advanced user manual, which hopefully I'll be able to get into as I spend more and more time with my White's metal detector. Like I said, it's a bit of a pricey. And what did I get for it? Well, I decided to wait around Christmas time because that's when the best deals are. So when I ordered it at Christmas time, I think it was Black Friday, but they gave me their Small Business Saturday sale. What did they give me? Well, they gave me a pair of gloves. I've read some of the articles that say after you carried these things around for a while, the gloves might come in handy. They are beaded type gloves, so I'll have to try them out. I've never used gloves before. A standard shovel that I'm not sure has much value. To be honest, I have a camper's metal shovel that I'll probably be using and not this. That was also free. And one of the things that's very interesting, which I've never seen, which I'm very interested in, when you start metal detecting, to be perfectly honest, people really don't like you digging in their lawns with big holes and shovels and digging up the grass, the dirt. And then even if you try patching it up afterwards, it's quite obviously where you had dug previously. So this is allowed with a serrated edge. It allows you to dig pretty much straight in, closer to the area of where the detector says you want to search without tearing up the whole ground. I've never had one of these before. And again, this was one of my Christmas specials, which I'm quite excited about. I think I will get a lot of use out of that. As you can see from the catalog I had just a second ago, that these are considered optionals. I did get the optional serrated I just showed you. The bag, I'm quite excited about that also. White's gave me a nice, as a hip bag or a back or a belly bag. And in it has pouches where you can put some of your equipment. As you can see, of course, their logo on the front. Also, it is a meshed bottom, so all the sand can fall out, so you're not constantly cleaning your bag out. And a small little side pouch for any of your gold and silver that you may find. So again, that's also considered an option item that came in included. The serrated came included. One of the other ones that I really might have liked, but I didn't, is a PinPointer. What happens is when you dig and you bring up a bunch of sand or soil or whatever, and the item you're looking for is very small, you often have trouble finding it. You got to spread the dirt out, go over it several times. Well, the PinPointer is actually just a little wand, almost like an electrical detector that helps you pinpoint it better. It's not a cheap option, and I decided to forego it on this time. I forewent it for about the same price for a second battery. This thing has a rechargeable battery system on it, which is cool. But when you're taking one out or you're going out, your battery, you're only going to last as long as your battery is. And then when you bring your metal detector back, then you have to charge your battery, so it allows you or it keeps you or restricts you from quite a few hours of going out again. So by leaving one always on charge on your battery system, you can either take a second one with you, so if it runs low you can swap it on out, or you can leave it home knowing when you come back you can easily swap it out and get ready to go again without that much delay. My previous detector I had many years ago had a battery pack that you put batteries in it, little AAA batteries, double AAA, I don't remember. And so when this one ran dead, you would actually have one full of AAA batteries, put it in, but the batteries got quite expensive, and then I ended up buying rechargeable AAA batteries and found out that that's probably just as cheap as buying the extra battery pack, so I went with that. Another nice thing that was a gift from White's, and I haven't opened it yet, is a case. Since I'm storing this in a trailer, it's going to be underneath. Or then throwing it in the back of the car. This, like I said, is quite an expensive toy, if you want to call it that. I wanted to make sure I protected it when it's riding in the underneath the trailer in the truck. So the nice salesman at White's, who was very friendly, by the way, helped me out on a lot of things. Talked me into buying one that would actually take the whole detector without breaking it down and being able to store it or take it with me without, again, having to take the detector part off and the shafts off and taking the whole thing apart. So I can actually put this right directly in as an assembled unit, and when I get out of the truck or the car, I can be ready to go without having to do a bunch of assembly. And it's also, if I'm carrying it into the woods, it has a nice sling I can carry it with. So I'm quite pleased. He suggested I pick up this brand, which is just metaldetectors.com. That's the company I bought it from. Because the ones that you buy from the Whites is actually a breakdown one. You have to break it down. And so it was, I think, $30-something. So it was a good investment, I thought, on my part. And lastly, what came is, it looks like another hip pack. I haven't opened this, but I think I'll be going with the one that would have been an option if it wasn't bought at Christmas time. Now, on to the detector. I'm quite excited. Again, I've been looking at this for years. You can buy them on eBay, and one of the reasons I didn't want to buy it on eBay and I wanted to buy a brand new one is two. One is these are registered to the purchaser, and almost like a phone, it's coded into the owner. And if you bought one online, you might not have the coding system to decode it. And secondly, is you really don't know at the cost of what you're paying for it. eBay, it was only $400 or $500 less, and you don't know how old it is. So it's a significant investment to get something that may or may not work. And how do you return it? You think whoever you bought it from is going to actually give you your money back? I doubt it. Also, at this particular time, White's was having a summer promo. The summer promo was being an extra coil. You'll see when I take the other one out, this coil is, again, quite a bit larger. And what this allows you to do, especially in a beach or a sand environment, is cover more area. What the salesman told me is it's not as accurate as far as when you take the smaller coil and run it across, and you hear the beep, beep, beep as it picks it up. You can pretty much center it and know just about exactly where it is when you start digging. This is, again, a wider area, and you might have to do a little more looking, and maybe I'm going to wish I had that pinpoint detector when I finish it. But this was actually a gift from White's for buying it over the summertime, but they still had some left in stock, which was with the promotion. Second thing was, which makes the Spectrum be a little bit more desirable, is when you're walking across the beach and you hear weep, 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 beep, you know, as it's going over it and scanning it, and you hear beep, beep, and then if you get a hit or two, everybody turns around and looks, because it's quite a noticeable sound when the detector picks something up, and then you start getting people to come over and look and get in your face. Again, it's an option. I went with it. It's headphones, wireless. Again, it uses Bluetooth technology, so you're not dragging a cord along with you as you're sweeping back and forth. I thought hard about this because I believe it's $200-300 option. But again, I remember when I was walking the beaches, and every time I hit a hit, people would stop and get in my face, and they would look in the hole and to see. To be honest, whatever I find is my own personal interest. I really don't want 10 people staring at me while I'm digging it up. So I went with that being an option. It is a rechargeable battery system also. Next, the detector itself. Okay, this is two of the poles. I'll assemble this later. So I talked to you about one of the reasons for buying the bag itself. As you can see, this is actually the unit. This is your display. This is your handhold. There'll be a strap on it that straps it to your arm, and this will give you all your displays. When I take it out for the first time, I'll do a video on that. This is your smaller 10-inch coil. Again, what I said is that this is actually more accurate for pinpointing because it's smaller, but it doesn't cover as much area. I'll probably be using the bigger one on most of my traverses. When I take it out for the next few days, I'll probably use a smaller one originally, because I'm in a campground environment and I'm not looking for big areas. I'm just looking for to play with it, to try it on out. And like I said, here is the battery. And apparently, I didn't know it, they threw in a second battery pack. Now this is the one, like I said, you have to put your own batteries in it. So now I have 3 batteries. I have 2 rechargeables and one that you actually have to put AA or AAA batteries in. So that's pretty cool. Battery charger. Here's a strap I told you about that goes on the hand. And being that it was a Black Friday promotion, and again a Small Business Saturday, they had a few options. One of them could have been that pinpoint detector I showed you about a minute ago, which was about $69. But like I said, this was significantly more expensive than any of the promotions. So what they did offer me is a full another metal detector. It's a $190 value. Again, that shows you how expensive this Spectra B3i is. And with it, again, it's going to have this small detector display. And again, the items in it, small, it's got the rod there, it's got the coil here, and it allows me to take the grandkids, or maybe the wife if she gets an interest in it. My son has showed an interest in it, so it allows you to go out with somebody and give it a shot, and they can play around with it. It's not nearly as sensitive as the bigger unit, the Spectrum. And lo and behold, I'll do another video when I take it out for the first time. I'm in the middle of Pigeon Forge right now, which doesn't have a lot. Like I said, what I'm looking for is gold, silver, jewelry, relics. You may or may not know it, but the last year they made gold, or actually silver coins, was 1964, so anything from 65 on corrodes too quickly in the ground. I don't care for it because you can't get rid of it. What good is it? So I'm going for 64 and below, so I'm not going to waste my time, and I don't want to waste my time digging for stuff that is worthless or valueless. I I want to thank the salesman at metaldetector.com. He gave me a big hand, and the last thing he discussed and talked me into was an extension rod for the metal detector. I haven't assembled it, so I don't know how long it is, but some of them are quite short, so you're angling it and you rather send it out on a longer sweep. So when I put it together, I'll do a video on it and see how the sweep goes on this. But he suggested that most metal detectors that have been out of the while really want one of these. So again, I bought it from whitesmetaldetector.com. I bought it out of state. They shipped it to me. I had it within 3 days. Shipping was included, and I'm quite excited about it. And lastly, the most exciting thing about it, it is made in the United States of America. And this is used for outdoor staycations. Give us a thumbs up, like us, subscribe, and starting in January, Mary and I are leaving here about the 6th of January. We'll be heading down south. January and all of February, I'll be up and down the coast of Florida, South Carolina. We'll be on the beaches. I'll do some videos as I'm sweeping it around, and together we can discover the world famous riches and golds and Blackbeard's treasure. Not really. I don't have that great of an expectations, but anything I find will help cut down the cost of what I invested in this. Again, this is used for outdoor staycation. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to keep up with my my adventure with my metal detector. And in your travels, safe journeys.